Hello to all of you and all of my viewers, and I welcome you on the brand new episode of Match Point. And today, as I have told you in the previous episode, that we will discuss you the match of Pakistan and India. Pakistan have started the test series against Aussies, one of their previous rivals, while India, the mighty India, have started devastating the poor Windies in their home. So we will tell you what's happening in the subcontinent and what's going on in the subcontinent. But before we start all that, we have to see the headlines. So the first headline, the World Cup trophy that is on the tour. The journey of the World Cup trophy is right now happening through the Pakistan. All the cities is happening through the Lahore, and it will be going through the Islamabad, and you can see the pictures. We are telling you and showing you how Junaid Khan and Mohammad Irfan are representing the World Cup trophy in the Pakistan, and what the jubilant nation is doing, and how the Moin Khan is handling it in Karachi. This you are all seeing back in the pictures which we are showing you. The next major headline is regarding the Team India. Team India beat West Indies by an innings and 272 runs. A huge margin for the Team India, and Team India finishing the match in a style in a 3-day, and poor Windies unable to resist against the Team India. We will go into the detail, who was the hero, who was the zero, and who was the superhero besides Virat Kohli, because Virat Kohli is an evergreen hero, but a new hero for the India. Who is he? You have to stay tuned on the Match Point. The next major headline is regarding the Pakistan versus Australia. Poor Pakistan couldn't win the game against the Aussies. Aussies are the one nation who are bound to lose the game when they touch the subcontinent. The mighty team, the excellence of previously their skippers Alan Border, Mark Taylor, Stephen Waugh, Mark Waugh, Ricky Ponting, the team of the giants, champions of the champions. When they are touching the subcontinent, the shadows of disappointment are coming to the team Australia. Whether it is Jeff Thompson, whether it is Mitch Starc, whether it is Peter Siddle, or whether it is Dennis Lilly, all have to bite the dust when they go to the subcontinent. But this time had a narrow escape. How the narrow escape? We will tell you in a Match Point. Pakistan saw an intense draw against Aussies when Pakistan team making brilliant 482 and then 181 for the loss of 6 wickets, and Team Australia collapsed at 202 with a courtesy of a newcomer Bilal Asif, and then again came for the batting, and then they made brilliant 362 for 8. Would you believe 202 and 368? Who was the X factor? The man between Pakistan and Australia is not the Australian, is also an Pakistani. But we will tell you about him. Who was he? Who came in between Australia and Pakistan? The next headline, thousands and thousands of empty seats we have seen in the stadium. All the time when the match was going on, the empty seats camera was showing. So once again, it has been emphasized that the game should have been moved to the Pakistan. If this match would have been played in Qaddafi Stadium Lahore or National Stadium Karachi or Iqbal Stadium Faisalabad, the things would have been quite different. Mohammad Hafiz, what he is saying in the headline, he is saying, when I was not picked for the Asia Cup, I was shattered like anything. My wife consoled me and I was going to take some wrong steps, but ultimately I was told and I was brainwashed, and then I came back on the track, and thanks God that God has made my nerves strong, and I came back and made a brilliant turn in the match of Pakistan versus Australia. But unfortunately, Hafiz 100 couldn't win a game for Pakistan. Hafiz said that Yunus Khan, who came right up onto the innings, right up into his career several times, but till at the end of his career and end of his retirement, he needs to prove again and again in his career that he is the best, he is the batting maestro, he is a super batsman for the Pakistan. He said otherwise the PCB and the nation is never going to accept that you have done something for Pakistan. Hafiz was little bit angry, I think, on the Pakistan cricket board on his selection, deselection, and on the merits of the Mickey Arthur demerits, and also his yo-yo factor and lot of other fielding critics. Australian cricketers, including Tim Paine, their skipper, Mitch Marsh and the Peter Siddle, they have visited Al Nabuda village in Aweer. Aweer is in the south district of Dubai, where we are usually, over the decades I was seeing, it is famous for the cars. Aweer is away from the Dubai downtown, and that has been famous for the cars. They have visited the village, but these three have visited not to get the car, but for some good cause. And they went to the Dubai's largest labor camp, where they went to meet to the facilitate the children and the people and to the workers who live there, and to experience how they are facing the challenges of life in those labor camps, and to hear the story of sacrifices they have made for their families. So such good move for the Aussies that I really appreciate, and I like it. And they went and put their morale up, who were working there in the labor camps since long times. Ahmed Shahzad has been banned from the Pakistan team. These wives are very important. Might be in the Pakistan cricket team or in the Pakistan cricket team culture or in the Pakistan. Thanks God my wife is not here in the studios. But these wives are putting Pakistanis in a trouble. Why in a trouble? Because Yasir Shah told that accidentally he took the medication of his wife, and those were the doping substances, and he was banned from cricket. Now Ahmed Shahzad was asked why you took that material. He said, I didn't take my wife's medicine, but my wife has given me the medicine. So this wife factor is very important. Instead of this, next time my X factor and my raw factor, next time there should be a wife factor, because Ahmed Shahzad has been banned for the 4 months, effective from 10th of July 2018 by the PCB for violating the board's anti-doping rules. And it's the first time in Australia, I mean with the Australia team, that Australian team is playing with the 3 debutants. Wow! Previously we have seen this gigantic action by the team Pakistan when they went to play against the Ireland on the English tour with the new caps. 3 to 4 caps were given, and now we have seen the same against Australia. First time 3 caps have been given in the subcontinent, because subcontinent is an evergreen nightmare for Australia. Aaron Finch, Travis Head, Marnus Labuschagne, these are the 3 caps which has been given by Australia. Imamul Haq, while fielding during the game, has been a harassing news and the dreadful news for the Pakistan fans, is out for the second test. No more, he will be the part of the team, because he has fractured his left 5th finger interdigital joint. He has fractured and he has been ruled out. 10 years ago, Bilal Asif, the man who shined with the ball in the first inning, quit the cricket because of the failures and because of the disappointments. And later on we heard that he went to Kuwait, and while working with his father as an electrician, and later on when came to the Pakistan, accidentally he met Shoaib Malik, ex-Pakistan skipper and the Pakistan middle order batsman and the Pakistan senior and mature batsman. Shoaib Malik has convinced Bilal Asif for his career and told him to come back and fight for his struggle in the Pakistan cricket team, and telling him that you are having the potential to join the Pakistan team. And this is what happened, and he came back and he fight back for his place in the Pakistan cricket team, and finally he came in the Pakistan team. Khwaja, who is Khwaja? Khwaja, we will tell you the story of Khwaja. Khwaja is a dream shatterer for Pakistan. Yes, this Khwaja is the first Pakistani born player who backfired on Pakistan. First ever Pakistani born batsman in the history of the cricket who has made a century against Pakistan. In spite of so many examples, none of the other Pakistani Nijad or Pakistani born batsman has delivered 100 against Pakistan, and this was the turning point of the game where Team Australia narrowly escaped a certain defeat against the hands of their traditional rivals in Dubai. We say Team Pakistan. So here we need to start the show, and quickly we will progress through the show, and I will tell you first of all regarding the Team India. As we were discussing that the Team India in the one-sided affair has beaten Team West Indies in their home. In the last 3 home tests, India have beaten West Indies by an innings and the margin within 3 days. Would you believe all the matches were finished in 3 days? This shows us the supremacy of the Indian team. There are 6 instances of an Indian captain of scoring 1000 runs in tests in a calendar year. Virat Kohli has done it thrice. That's why we say he is a super duper batting maestro for the Team India. Virat Kohli is the first Indian batsman to aggregate 1000 runs in the test in the 3 consecutive years. He has made 1215 runs in 2016 and now 1059 in the last year. But the show stealer, who is the show stealer? Show stealer is the man I will tell you right now. At the 14 years, at the tender age of 14, he scores 546 for his school. At the 17 years, he makes the first class debut. Then at the 17 years, he makes a century in the Ranji Trophy and then in the Duleep Trophy. And 18 years, he leads India to their under-19 World Cup cricket victory. At 18 years, he plays and makes 5 first-class hundreds. At the age of 18, he plays IPL, Indian Premier League, and then at 18 years and the record 329 days, he does the debut for the Team India. And then at the 18 years and 331 days, he makes a maiden century in his first ever game for the Team India. Please welcome the new batting Mysterio, Prithvi Shaw for you. Prithvi Shaw, a new batting machine and a batting sensation after Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar and Virat Kohli make a huge roar and the impact at the Indian batting lineup. In the entire first class history, if I may tell you, only one batsman, he is Bill Ponsford, who scored more hundreds, 9 as compared to the Prithvi Shaw who had made 8. Bill Ponsford, who is a proud Aussie back in the 1800 and the 1900, he made the record 9 in the first class and he made it before the 30, and if he would have been playing the cricket after 35, it might be he would have virtually broke all his record. Unfortunately, because of his family issues, he took an early retirement from the cricket, but Prithvi Shaw almost matched the Bill Ponsford. 800s for the Prithvi Shaw now in just 15 first class matches. Prithvi Shaw is the youngest Indian to score the 100 on the test debut. He is the 3rd fastest 100 on the debut in the test history. 2nd youngest Indian to open on the test debut. 15th Indian to score 100 on the test debut. Youngest to open the batting for Team India on the test debut. If we look back on the records, so Vijay Mehra was the one, 17 years, the 256. He was the most youngest to open the batting for India, and then Prithvi Shaw at 18 years and 329 days, and then Mushtaq Ali back in the 60s and 70s, 19 years and 21 days, and Sengupata at 19 years and 172 days, and none other less but the other Dileep Wing Sarkar at 19 years and 293 days also opened the game for Team India. Centuries on the first class debut as well as on the test debut. This is very important. ODI debut, first class debut as well as on the test debut. What a lucky man for India. Vishwanath has done this in the past along with DM Welham, but Vishwanath is the one who has earliest done it for the India, and later on Prithvi Shaw now doing it in style. Lot of people asking me on the Facebook that Sehwag has done it. But believe me, Sehwag has not done it. Sehwag has scored a century on the test debut, but on the first class, he has not made a debut on the first one. In the second match, he has made the 100 in the second innings. Prithvi Shaw is the youngest and first teenager to face the first ball of a test match among the Indians. Overall, he is the fourth youngest after Hamilton, Masickzada, Tamim Iqbal and the Pakistani Imran Farhat. But he is the first and the youngest Indian ever. Prithvi Shaw at the tender age of 18 years and 329 days is the youngest debutant for India since Ishant Sharma back in 2007. Overall, he is the 13th youngest list in a one century who has played for India below 20 years. We will move to the next story. When we will come back from the break, we will have to take a short break, and when I will come back, we will still discuss India takes on West Indies, and with the Indian brilliant with a 1-up in a test series. You are watching Match Point. I am Dr. ADNAN. Keep watching your Awaaz. Welcome back on the Match Point. So as we were discussing about the batting mysterios Virat Kohli and Prithvi Shaw, the new hero for the India, now it's a time to turn for the Indian bowlers. So Indian bowlers, we need to discuss and we need to see Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav was the man to find in the form for the team India and against West Indies. He is phenomenal along with Bhuvi, and just like the other Indian bowlers, he is shining. And if I may remind you, I will not be wrong, that Kuldeep Yadav is only now the second Indian behind the tally of Bhuvi or Bhuveshna Kumar, who have registered now the 5-wicket haul in all the 3 international formats. Before him, Bhuvi has did it, and now Kuldeep has did it in all the 3. Virat Kohli centuries. Before I progress to the Pakistan, we may discuss the proud Indian skipper Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli once again the centuries. Virat Kohli made a century, Jadeja made a century in a game, and unfortunately their wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant was 8 short of his 100 and couldn't make 100, and the Prithvi Shaw, ever shining Prithvi Shaw, has done it also on a style. So 3 tons from Team India. But I want to tell you something about the batting mysterio Virat Kohli, who is in the exceptional form of his lifetime. As a captain, 30 centuries in 110 matches, and as a player, 29 hundreds in a 235 matches. My God, where is the limit to control Virat Kohli? Virat Kohli, with whom I say that you make him play on the desert and he will score on the safari desert of Dubai. So turning towards the Pakistan team, I may tell you the biggest headline as I gave you, that unfortunately with the match Pakistan should have won and the series would have gone 1-up against Australia. Pakistan went for a draw, or rather I should say Aussies went for a draw, and Khwaja saving them and saving their blushes along with a new joint skipper, the Tim Paine, who have played only the 15 to 17 test matches, such short experience, and after the 6 senior batsmen and the overall batsman and the bowler went out of the team, really hats off to the Australia who struggled and almost, I will say, not for them the draw, for them it was a victory in the subcontinent. This draw was a victory for Australia. So where things went wrong, we will figure out in the show. Solid opening stand from the Pakistan. Brilliant 100 from Hafiz. Hafiz took a sigh of relief and coming back, having a brilliant turn and finally out on the 126 on the ball. He remained little unlucky as the ball trapped against in front of him. Highest batting average for the Pakistan in test in UAE. Hafiz comes in the list above Yunus Khan. Hafiz is 55.27 and the ever great Yunus Khan was 55.27. The best batting average in the subcontinent goes to the Yunus Khan, but Hafiz has crossed now in the average. But the overall, if I see the ratio as compared to the matches, then the best ratio is the team captain Misbahul Haq with a 59.70 in the subcontinent, and then Ahmed Shehzad, as he has played the less matches but the brisk scoring, he went to the average above 57.45. while Azhar Ali at the 56.18. Highest opening partnership for the Pakistan versus Australia in the Test cricket. Huge impact by Hafiz and Imam ul Haq. But believe me, they made it 205 in Dubai, but this is not the highest record achieved by the Pakistani openers. This has been previously done back in the 70s when Abdul Qadir 249 and Khalid Ibadullah back in the 1964 in the National Stadium Karachi is the largest opening stand for the team Pakistan with the shining colors in Pakistan. And then comes the second, Mohammad Hafiz and Imam ul Haq. But overall, if I say the highest opening partnership in the UAE in the Test cricket, which is the Pakistan's alternate home, here the largest record is 215 is between the Sami Aslam and Azhar Ali, that is versus West Indies back in 2016. And if I move further, then 205 is made by Imam ul Haq and Mohammad Hafiz now in 2018 in Dubai. And if I go to the third, Hafiz was once again involved, but not with Imam ul Haq, but this time by Ahmed Shahzad, because this was back in 2014 versus New Zealand. A comeback century for Mohammad Hafiz, 791 days since he played his last test. So hats off to him after coming nearly 800 days and then coming again out of the Asia Cup, your morale is down, and then becoming fit and entering into a match. It was a very good gesture, and appreciate Hafiz for his innings. And then also for his gestures when the team Pakistan was going to the bus and one of the fans who was calling Hafiz for a selfie, and the security guard tried to stop Hafiz and tried to stop the fan, and he pushed the hand of the security man and told him, "What so? Just go aside. What's wrong with you if the fan wants picture with me?" And very comfortably he took 4 selfies along with their fan. So this was the true superb qualities of a great sportsman, and Hafiz showing it once again that why he is the loving figure in the Pakistani fans. Sarfaraz Ahmed has also praising like the all other fans. He is saying Hafiz Bhai is performing very well, and he said at the end of the day that in the domestic cricket recently he was so good, and now we have added to the squad. We want him to take advantage of his form by playing as an opener and fulfilling the role of the 5th bowler, which we need too much in the team's balance and in the bowling and the batting also. Hafiz averaged in the last 3 test series in UAE in 2012, if I tell you, 4 centuries, including 151 versus England in Sharjah, which is arguably the best Pakistani 100 knock in the last 20 years. That was the best match, and again Hafiz showing the stamina and the worth of the senior players of the team. Mohammad Hafiz registering his 10th century overall. The only Pakistani opener with more hundreds is now Saeed Anwar at 11. If Hafiz now makes 1 more, he will tie with a great left-handed opener Saeed Anwar, and if he makes 2 more, he will be the best one ever in the history of Pakistan cricket to achieve this as an opener. Haris Sohail is the other man who shined for the Pakistan cricket. His career has been plagued by in-out activities and by the knee injuries and the knee operations, but believe me, something was going on wrong. I'm not knowing what was going on, but Pakistan needs some depth in the middle order, and Haris Sohail proved again that after coming back from 3 years and wasting the 3 years of cricketing life, he's back in the business and still he can control the middle overs. Brilliant knock from him, and very happy to see Haris Sohail back in the business, and only he needed the correct I think rehab for 6 weeks. That's what he got in the England, and he is back in the team. 4 years ago, Haris Sohail also scored the same innings and a century, and surprisingly that was against the team Australia. And would you believe that I was the eyewitness of that century? I was seeing that match, how Mitchell Marsh and how Mitchell Johnson, both the Mitch were struggling against him, and he hammered them around the Sharjah and the Dubai stadium like anything on all the corners of the ground. And I saw that brilliant innings. Then now after 4 years he played once again with a brilliant knock, and now is the time to tell. Bring the music on, the killer factor. killer factor is also with Haris Sohail. Haris Sohail, the brilliant all-rounder for the Pakistan and the explosive middle order batsman from Pakistan. He is the last recommended middle order batsman who has made a century for Pakistan. But before Haris Sohail, a left-hander who has made it like this and against Australia, he was Amir Sohail in Lahore back in 1994. And surprisingly, that match, I'm also the eyewitness of that match during my medical college days. But then, this is not the end of the killer factor. Killer factor goes on. The last specialist middle order to do so, because Amir Sohail was not the middle order. Amir Sohail was the opener, and the last man who was in the middle order and who did it against Australia and did it like Haris Sohail, he was Wasim Hassan Raja versus the team in Faisalabad, and back in 1984. May he rest in peace, the elder brother of Rabiz Raja, Wasim Raja, who is no more in this world, and may Allah rest his soul in peace. He did it in Faisalabad 3 decades ago, and he was the last man, last left-hander before Haris Sohail who did it in the test match in the middle orders. So going up, good times for the Sialkot, century for the Haris Sohail, all 10 wickets by Mohammad Abbas and Bilal Asif. So it was total Sialkot, Stallions and Sialkot, all 10 wickets by the Sialkotis. Century by the Sialkoti earlier as well has to be the biggest ever contribution from the Sialkot in this test match. Australia were 142-0 after 51.3 overs, and then Australia was collapsed in 83.3 overs. A brilliant session from the Pakistani bowlers in the second and third session, and Australia collapsed on 202 all out. 142-0 and 202 all out. All 10 wickets went down only for 60 runs in 33 overs. Aaron Finch later on said the 20 minutes before lunch and 20 minutes after lunch, Pakistani bowling was phenomenal. Real quality bowling from Pakistan, and they bowled straight and a bit of reverse swing at one end, and we could not handle them. And man to watch and destroy Aussies, the best bowling figures on the test debut for the Pakistan, he is Bilal Asif, 6 for 36 against Australia. But this is not the best, because the D best was Mohammad Zahir, 7 for 66 versus New Zealand in 1996, and then Mohammad Nazir, 99 for 7 versus New Zealand in 1969 are the best ever figures by the Pakistan spinner against the tourist side. Aaron Finch later on saying, we watched a lot of video of Bilal Asif in the hotel room and watching on the computer screen, but he is quite different for what we saw on the computer screen. What he was doing on the wicket, that was exceptional and phenomenal. The bounce he got with the old ball, that was extraordinary, and that was the turning point which put Australia on the back seat. Pakistani pace bowlers, quickest to get the 50 test wickets now. Mohammad Asif in 10 tests, Shabir Ahmed in test and Waqar Yunus in 10 tests. I remember when Waqar Yunus beaten the record of the Khan Muhammad back in the 1990 when the Viv Richards West Indies was on the tour of the Imran Khan's Pakistan, and Pakistan beat them in that series convincingly. And Pakistan, and playing in his 9th test match, Mohammad Abbas has now got 49 wickets. He is the next one in the target. Australia losing 10 wickets for 60 runs, which is their worst ever collapse after the 100 runs opening partnership. Australia never conceded the twin centuries in the test in the 40 years, and they did it 4 times, would you believe, and 3 consecutive tests in 2014 to 2017. And Yunus Khan in Dubai have done it in 2014, and then Misbahul Haq and Azhar Ali has done it in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and then Virat Kohli and Adelaide. So 4 times in the half century, in this half century in 50 years, all of the Asians, mostly Pakistani and the one Indian batting master Virat Kohli, they have conceded 4 twin centuries. So still a lot of things to continue, but here I have to take a short break. When I will come back from a break, we will discuss that what happened next, why Pakistan still couldn't win a game against Australia, and why they couldn't get up in a 1-0. You are watching Match Point. You can follow me on the Greatest Empire USA Facebook page and the YouTube page, and the contact number is scrolling down. You can contact us and our team. You are watching Match Point, and this is E-Awaz, Dr. ADNAN, your host. I will take a short commercial break and I will be right back. Welcome back after the break. We are discussing Pakistan versus Australia, Dubai series, Pakistan's home series and Australia's away series. So Australia survived once again, a scary finish for the Australia, and Australia avoiding the certain defeat at the hand of mighty Pakistan in their home. So Australia was, I think, quite ready for this draw, we should say. Why I'm saying that they should be happy with this draw and they should be satisfied, because recently 1 year ago they have narrowly did it in style, and they did it against Bangladesh in Chittagong and they survived the match hardly a year ago. Nathan Lyon is one of those remnants of that team Australia, which were still a part of this team Australia who was playing against Pakistan. So once again they were showing some resistance and they were showing some phenomenal batting down the order against Team Pakistan. Australia needed now the heroic effort to save a test match from Pakistan. Anyways, Pakistan was going to grab it with a huge target. There was no chance to chase this target, but the huge temperament needed to save the last 3 and 4 sessions of the previous day and the last day. These 4 sessions, how they survived. I have seen this with the Mike Gittings and the Ian Botham's England when they did it against Imran Khan's Pakistan in 1987 at the Oval. The same sort of match where they saved. And also I remember the match when Misbah-ul-Haq's Pakistan were playing the match against West Indies, and that was the last match of the Yunus Khan and Misbah-ul-Haq, and Team Pakistan had a scary, could have been a scary draw, but Pakistan clinched the match away with the courtesy of the courtesy of Yasir Shah's last over. So the identical picture of that match was created at the end of this match. But we will take you to the end of this match. Right now I want to tell you that someone we needed who can anchor the Australian innings, someone we needed who can anchor the Australian batting lineup, but none of the Aussies can do. But if none of the Aussies can do, some of the Pakistani can do it. Who should be that Pakistani? Bell the cat. Bell that cat. Usman Khaja is the man. He is the man in form, and who is the Pakistani turned Australian. His parents are the proud Pakistanis, and Usman Khaja put Pakistan in the trouble and took Australia out of the trouble. Whatever praises one gives to the Usman Khaja is not enough in these lines, as he has batted really well, exceptionally extraordinary batting, carried Aussies and carried the match away from Pakistan. He played short against Pakistani bowlers. The most of the batsmen were hesitant to play those shots on the 5th day. This was so surprising. Usman Khaja is the one Pakistani turned Australian who play in a so boldly fashion that none of other players can dare to play those shots on the last day of the game, on the 5th day of the game. Who knows that if those shots were backfired, he would have been the man who would have made Australia lost the match. But he was such confident man, such confidently he played those brave shots, and sweeps we have seen, straight shots over mid-on, over mid-wicket, and then the reverse sweeps we have seen against Pakistan. Only Usman Khaja can do it, who knows Pakistanis more than anyone else in the Australian squad. This innings by Usman Khaja has broke various records. The most balls faced in the 4th innings in the UAE. Wow! This record has been now broken. Previous record holder was Darren Brower, 249 balls. Usman Khaja has clearly broken that record and now he is on the 298, the most balls faced ever in the UAE, and the last innings of the match. Usman Khawaja with the 50s in the both innings of the match is the new sensational record against Pakistan and in subcontinent. The last Australian to do that in Asia was Shane Watson, who has done it in Mohali back in 2000 done. After 2010, now in 2018, 8 years later on, Usman Khawaja is the one who has did it now. Most overs batted in the fourth innings of the test match in the UAE. 139.4 overs Australia has played against Pakistan now. Previously, this record is now broken, and now I will take you to that match which I am telling you against England. 137.3 overs England have played against Pakistan back in the match, and then 137.6 overs England has also played against Pakistan back in 2015 also, and 117 overs Pakistan has played against South Africa in 2010 to draw a match on the fourth innings. Australia's average opening stand in the test in the last 2 years is 48.60. Take a bow on that, which is highest for any team. And would you believe the poor Pakistani team, the poor Pakistan fragile batting lineup, who is the number 2 after the Australian opening stand? You won't believe, it's not Team India, it's Team Pakistan with 40.44% in the history of Test cricket. After Australia, the best one in the opening stands in the Test. In the last session of the Test, it was sensational. Pakistan needed 5 wickets and Australia had to survive 31 overs to bat out and ultimately drawing a match. To survive or win, Australia survived after batting marathon 139.5 overs, their longest fourth innings in the 47 years. 47 साल के अंदर ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया की सबसे लंबी बैटिंग थी, जो एक 50 साल के अरसे के अंदर ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने चौथी इनिंग्स में दी. Hats off to Australia. That's why I say them champions of the champions, the champion team Australia. This was the first time Pakistan has drawn a test match since 13 October 2015. They had not drawn their last 22 test matches. After a huge winning sequel, then Pakistan's last 4 tests in the UAE were disaster. Drawn, lost, and in between the tests were against the poor Sri Lankan team who came to lose match in Pakistan, but Pakistan let them practice to their best and ultimately winning the game. Largest leads earned by Pakistan bowlers that didn't result a test win. The match I was telling you, 476 was the lead in 1987 in the Oval when Imran Khan's Pakistan couldn't win a game and Ian Botham Mike Getting draw a match for the Pakistan. On the 5th day of the game, Pakistan needed 7 wickets, but Pakistan could only take 2 wickets. David Gower was out, Botham was out, but Getting later on survived and took the match to the end, including the mandatory overs. And 280 was versus Australia in Dubai 2018 now, and 272 versus India in Lahore in 1984 was the match when Pakistan couldn't take a win in the home. This was Yasir Shah 13th test match in UAE, where he has taken total of 79 wickets, and this has been first time for the Yasir Shah that when in the first innings he became the wicketless in a match. It never happened with the Yasir Shah. He was the one who blown out the records of George Loman's. The more than a century old record was shaken with a Yasir Shah, but this time he couldn't succeed against the Australians. Well fought draw in Dubai, wins in Pune and Chittagong last year, batsmen scoring centuries in the 4th innings, and Australia's game has surely been improved in Asia. This is the bestie of the best for Australia, and their coach should have been proud of. Time to close the show. But before closing the show, what we do? Bring the music up and the killer factor. It is the first time the match of Pakistan versus Australia, that Sarfaraz and Tim Payne, both the skippers were wicket keeper. But my killer factor is not, because you are knowing already this thing. But my killer factor consists of the fact that was it the first time? Did it happen before in the past when both the skippers were the wicket keepers and the match progressed between the top two nations? So I want to tell you that this was not the first time when it happened. Overall, it was the 8th time in the history of Test cricket when both the captains were wicket keepers. But in fact, this was the first ever time between Pakistan and Team Australia when both the captains were wicket keeper. So now Pakistan is couldn't be one up in the series, and now Pakistan-Australia series is 0-0 at the draw, while the Team India in a 2-match series against West Indies is 1 up. When next time I will bring match point for you, it would have been decided that who will be the winner of the second match of Pakistan versus Australia, who will clinch the series and who will take the series in India versus West Indies. Obviously West Indies cannot win the series, but we can see can the Carlos Brathwaite's West Indies can draw the game against the mighty Indians. But for this you need to sign it for my YouTube Greatest Empire USA, with the same page on the YouTube and on the same page on the Facebook. Till then, lot of more news would be there when next time I will come to you, and when I will come with the same zeal and zest, bringing you to the new energetic show and with the new heights of sports and especially cricket. Don't go away, stay tuned to us ever on the Match Point. Dr. Adnan says you goodbye. Take care and bye-bye.